Hello, dear all. Hope that you all are fine. And today we will discuss about a very important topic of Rog Nidan, that is Nidanarthaka Rog. As the name suggests, that it consists of three words. And first is Nidan, second is Arthkar, and third is Rog. So, what it means that Arthkar means which behaves like. You know? So, if we turn from third word रोग अर्थकर निदान रोग अर्थकर and nidan rog arthkar means which behaves like nidan is known as nidanarthkar rog. Just begin from last word rog arthkar nidan disease which behaves like nidan is known as nidanarthkar rog. So this is very important topic that in this context we will try to understand that how a particular disease behaves like Nidan, how it becomes Nidan for another disease. There are very too much. It has so many examples where Achar have quoted that this particular disease leads to that particular disease. So when this particular leads to that particular, so this is known as Nidanarthaka Rog for that. This is the basic concept in the context of Nidanarthaka. In Nidanasthan, Acharya Charak have defined Nidanarthaka Rog as Nidanarthakaro Rogo Rogasya Uplabhite. That Nidanarthakaro Rogo, Nidanarthaka Rog, Rogasya Api causes origin of another disease. That Nidanarthaka Rog causes origin of another disease. Very simply, we can define that in a condition where a particular disease acts as nidan for another disease, then first disease is known as Nidanarthaka Rog. And the nidan is the causative factor of any disease. And nidan is defined as causative factor, and when a disease itself behaves like nidan for the origin of another disease, then that disease is known as Nidanarthaka. For example, he have quoted Jor Santapad Rakt Pittam Udirte. Due to Santapa Jor, Rakt Pitt is originated. Rakt Pitt Joras, Rakt Pitt, Rakt Pitt causes Jor. Tabhyam Sosach Upjayate. Both of these, Jor and Rakt Pitt, leads to Shosh. Pliya Pliya Vridhya Joram Chorasoteucha Pliha Avriddhya Juram due to Pliha Vriddhi leads to Jor. And again, Jor leads to Shosh. Shot Arsobhyo Jashram Dukham Gulmas Chap Upjate. What he says that Ars causes Jetharo, Udaro, and that causes Gul also. Ars causes Jetar as well as Gul. That depends on the particular factor which vitiates the particular good or particular dose in the entire course of a particular disease. Yeah. Say that when there is urge and that causes some kind of uh, vitiation of particular dose, in that condition it will lead to jathar rog, udar rog. And in certain condition the same urge causes gul. So that depends which kind of uh, diet or ahar vihar is taking that patient in the course of Arsh. If that Ahar Bihar favors formation of Udar Rog, then Udar Rog is originated. And if that Ahar Bihar favors the development of some kind of pathogenesis that leads to Gulm, then Gulm is originated. Just like प्रतिश्यायाद भवेद कासे कासे संजायते क्षय क्षयो रोगस्य हेतुत्वे शोषश्च अपि उपजायते. No, these are the classical examples of Nidanarth Karma. So, in nutshell, we can say that if a person is suffering from any particular disease, in the entire course of from Sanchaya Prakop Prashar Asthan Sansara Upadrav Bhed, even in the last phase of treatment, even after the treatment, if normalcy is not achieved in that entire course of uh, disease, if someone consumes some specific diet, then some kind of good is vitiated, and that leads to origin of another disease. So that disease is actually responsible for the origin of second disease. So why the first disease is known as Nidanarthaka. Just in later on, Achar described that Nidanarthaka rog may be of two types. That he says that kaschid rogo rogasya heturubhutva prashamyati. Kaschid rogo rogasya heturubhutva prashamyati. Sometimes the Nidanarthaka rog, the rog which is leading to another disease, subsides itself after origin of second disease. So, and in some phases it does not subside. So there is coexistence of Nidanarthaka rog and second rog which is originated by that Nidanarthaka rog. Say, I'm just think that A is leading to B, disease A is leading to disease B, and after leading to B, A subsides itself. This represents first line. And another condition is that A is leading to B, but A does not subside. So there is coexistence of A and B at the same time. So what happens? First line represents ekarthkari nidanarthaka rog. Ekarthkari when it leads to production of a disease and gets subside itself, that is known as uh, ekarthkari nidanarthaka rog. And the condition where both A and B coexist at the same time and A is causative factor of B, then it is known as Ubhyarthkari. Now see, both of these have very close resemblance with some conditions. Now what says Kaschid rogo rogo suhitur hutva shamiti. There, remember there is another quotation that व्याधिर ऊपर यो व्याधि भवत्य उत्तर काल जाए उपक्रम अविरोधी च. What is saying that this is definition of upadrav. Vyati rupariyo vyadhi. A disease, after a disease there is production of some disease that is due to previous disease. And that is some complication is produced that is due to first disease, that is known as upadrav. And another condition is also there, that is known as vyadhi sankar. There is coexistence of two diseases at the same time, that is known as Vyadhi Sankar. Two or more. Sankar means there is coexistence of more than one disease, that is known as Vyadhi Sankar. So what says that second line what we discussed Ubhyarthkari Nidhanarthkar rog, since there is coexistence of two diseases at the same time. But what is happening? the first disease leads to second disease. And in Vyadhi Sankar, there is coexistence of more than one disease, but they may or may not be closely related. And some say that someone is suffering from um, CAS, and at the same time, his during that course he suffers from Atisar. So Atisar has different line of Samprapti and CAS has different line of Samprapti. So if they both of these coexist, that is known as Vyadhi Sankar. And if there is Pandu which is leading to Kamla, and still there is existence of Pandu along with Kamla, that is known as Ubhyarthkari Nidanarthaka Rog. Remember that Pandurogi tu yotyartham pittalani nishetu tasya pittam asiktatva asik mansam dagdva rogaya kalpte. Pandurogi tu yotyartham, Pandu is leading to Kamla. In the same way, there is Atisare Nritya Mandagne Rahitasana. There are so many examples where a particular disease is leading to second disease. So there is basic difference between all of these. Upadro have some specific feature. Nidana Ekarthkari Nidanarth ka rog have some specific feature. Ubhyarthkari Nidanarth ka rog have some specific feature, and Vyadhi Sankar have some specific feature. Well, in current scenario, we will discuss about only Nidanarthaka rog. Later on, we will differentiate between Vyadhi Sankar and Upadro also in reference of Nidanarthaka rog. So, in nutshell, in this slide, we can say that Nidanarthaka rog is a disease where a particular disease behaves like Nidan. It may be of two types. It is leading to second disease and it is getting subsided automatically. That is known as Ekarthkari Nidanarthaka rog. And if both of these coexist, that is known as Ubhyarthkari Nidanarthaka rog. And here is some classical example which I quoted earlier, that Atisare Nirvitya Mandagner Ahitasna. It is described in the context of Grihani by Madhav, Acharya Madhav. And in the same way, there is another example that Pandrogi Tuyatyartham Pittalani Nishevate. That is for Kamla, you know very well. So, see, there is what is basic difference, and you can just see that Atisar have different pathogenesis and Grihani have different pathogenesis. But what is happening? Atisar itself is leading to that kind of pathogenesis. Under Atisar, there is a specific condition which says that Atisare Nirvitya apni mandagner ahitasne. What is the symptom of Gatatisar? You will see there deep tagner लघु कोष्ठस्य स्थितस्य तस्य उदरामया. What he says that deep tagner लघु कोष्ठस्य, when the state of Agni becomes normal, it is represented by the word deep tagni. Initially there was mandagni which becomes normal due to deep tagni. Deep tagni represents the normal Agni. It's not Tichragni. There is difference between Tichragni and Deeptagni. Now, Deeptagni, you just we will discuss it later on. What there is difference. Deeptagni is here in the case of Atisar that it attains its normal phase. What is Samprapti of Grandi? That Atisar is getting relieved. Its treatment is going on and there is a state of Mandagni and Deeptagni is not achieved. Mandagni is getting cured, but Deeptagni, state of Deeptagni is not reached. In that phase of Atisar, if someone consumes Ahitasan, then Grahani is produced. It causes Grahani. Very simply, na, there was Mandagni which was leading to Atisar. Samsamyapam Dhatur Agni Prabuddha. This is the Samprapti we will discuss later on in the same phase. So it says that Samsamya Apam Dhatur Agni Prabuddha means Agni Pradushta. There was Mandagni. Treatment was given, but state of Deeptagni was not achieved. So it was slowly getting relieved. Mandagni was getting converted into Deeptagni, but it was not fully achieved. In the meantime, someone starts consuming Aitasam. In that condition only, Grahani is produced. Uh, there is another thing that in the stage of Grahani, Atisar, there was Mandagni, and someone started taking Ahitasan too much. Then itself it causes Grahani. There are two conditions. In the same way, it says that Pandu Rogi tu yotyartham pittalani nishyote. There was Pandu, a person was suffering from Pandu, and in the meantime he started taking some pitta vitiating ahar vihar that leads to further vitiation of pith, and that leads to kamla. So Pandu is Nidanarthaka root for kamla. Actually, is Pandu does not directly gets converted into kamla, but in the state of Pandu, if someone takes incompatible diet or the fat diet which is responsible for the vitiation of pith further, then kamla is produced. This is the basic. Pandu directly does not directly leads to kamla, but if someone takes some pith vitiating diet, then it leads to kamla. The, this is the basic thing. One you have to consider that Atsar have different line of pathogenesis, whereas Gradi have different line of pathogenesis. In the same way, Pandu have different line of pathogenesis, and Kamla have different line of pathogenesis. Same way, Jor have different line of pathogenesis, and Raktpit have different line of pathogenesis. Remember, recall that Mithya Ahar Viharabhyam, what happens? Mithya Ahar Viharabhyam hi दोषा ही आमाशय आश्रय बहिर्निरस्य कोष्ठाग्नि जोरदा स्वीय रसायन. This is the pathogenesis of jur. What is there? Bahirnirasya koष्ठाग्नि means koष्ठाग्नि gets vitiated. It represents ocean good of pith. That ocean good of pith gets vitiated and it spreads throughout the body through rasvayi srotas and gets localized in the twacha. Twacha itself represents ras. So that leads to rise of temperature. Whereas in the case of Raktpit, what Acharya says, Tasyoshma Dravya Dharto Dhartur Prasichyate means here there is vitiation of Dravat, Ushma and Dravat too. So, since there was vitiation of Ushma only in the case of Jor, when along with Ushma there is vitiation of Dravat too, that leads to Rakt. And there is condition then if Ushma and Dravat both gets vitiated at the same time, that leads to Shosh. Tabhyam Shosach Upjayate. In the what happens in the Atisar, just see there what happens in the case of Atisar. See what Achar says that Samsamya Apam Dhatur Agnim Pravidha. Here what says that Samsamya Agnim Apam Dhatur Pravidha means Apam Dhatur Pradushtha. Samsamya Agnim. There is Mandagni, Samsamya Agni. Agni becomes the normal function of Agni is not there. It, there is phase of Manda. And which dhatu is vitiated? That Apam dhatu that gets mixed with the stool and causes Atisar. So there is vitiation of different dhatu and accordingly there is Vatas, Pittash, Kapash, Atisar and there is vitiation of Shit Gun, Dravatu Gun and Shit Gun Sthira. Likewise there are some different kind of vitiation of different typical proper good of Pit. Whereas what happens in the case of Grahadi, that there is vitiation of Grahadi. Atisar is the disease of mainly Purisasa, whereas Grahadi, in Grahadi there is vitiation of Grahadi Ang, Shasti Pit Dhara Kalana. What is function is there? Apakkum Dharyatyannam, Pakkum Srijat Parsta. So initially there is vitiation of Apam Dhatu in the case of Atisar, but if it gets too much vitiated with 10, it causes vitiation of Grahadi and the power to retain undigested food for further digestion is lost and that leads to Grahadi. This is the basic concept. In the same way, you will see in the case of Pandu leading to Kamla. Initially there is Pradushya Raktam Dosas Tucham Pandurta Neti. There is vitiation of Rakt initially was there. And what happens in the case of Kamla? Pittam, Tasya Pittam. That vitiated Pit causes Asrik Mansam. Means there is vitiation of Asrik as well as vitiation of Mans. So initially there was vitiation of Rakt only. And due to further exposure to Pittal Ahar Vihar, Mans also gets vitiated and that leads to Kamla. So this is the basic difference how a particular disease is leading to another disease and how it is behaving like Nidan for another disease. This is very simply you can see there. Initially there was Rakt Dusti and in the case of Kamla there is Asrik and Mans Dusti. So as the disease progresses, the line of pathogenesis is also being changed. So why the first disease either subsides or remains present, that depends on the degree of vitiation of that particular dose, and so why Nidanarthaka rogs becomes of two types. This is some part of Nidanarthaka rog. In our next lecture we will further discuss on the same topic in the respect of Ubhadrav and Vyadhi Sankar. Thank you and be happy. Bye.